the Salesforce? How do you log into the Salesforce? You log into the Salesforce with login.salesforce.com. If it is a sandbox, test.salesforce.com. How do you identify your server? In the tracking the status is trust. How do you know your server instance? AP NA EU. AP NA EU CS. AP NA EU CS. Right? These are the instance of servers. These are the instance of servers. Right? Now, if it is a sandbox, you are going to have CS. Production AP NA EU. Because you are registering from Asia, your server will be AP. If you want to know the maintenance issues or support issues, then what we do? Trust.salesforce.com. What is an app exchange? App exchange, it is a store where applications developed on the Salesforce are stored. I hope you are good with this. Right. Now, let me get into the account. So, what is your username password? For student, admin nodes at the rate of 322. I am logging like administrator. Don't make an attempt of logging in with this username. Your username is admin nodes at the rate of 322.com. Password is Salesforce123. And you will see all your videos on the website. By this, tomorrow I am going to upload all the 4 classes what we have done. From Monday class onwards, day to day they will be uploaded. Because the batch is not finalized. It took some time to finalize the batch. So we have not added the videos on the site. So by tomorrow, you find all the videos on the site. Okay. And from Monday, the videos will be on the site on every next day. Right. So 10:30, by next day, 10:30, you will be finding the previous topic video. And your videos will be on batch number 322. You'll be finding the videos with the batch number 322. Right. I hope you're good. When you log in, on the top of the video, you find a password. There will be a small font. Right. Immediately don't make a call to us. Password is not visible. Right. On the top of the video, left corner, the small font size of 8 to 10. The font size will be around 8 to 10. With that font size, the password will be displayed on the top. You need to copy that password and paste it in Vimeo to play the video. Right, boss? Okay. Come back to the next. When you log into the Salesforce, what is the current version of the Salesforce we are using? Spring 90. Okay. Now, if you go to the classic, what is the navigation? Force.com menu we have setup, build, setup, administer, build, deploy, and monitor. Setup, administer, build, monitor, deploy. Setup, administer, build, monitor, deploy. Under administer, what you find? All the administrative topics. Under the build, what you find? Development activities and customization. Under deploy, what you find? Deployment option. Now in the Salesforce, we have UI based deployment. We don't need a tools again, extra tools. Straight away like a drag and drop model, we can deploy it. Okay. So it's a built-in deployment model. In case if you want to maintain any version controlling and all the stuff, we have external tools. But internally, deployment can be done by using change set concept. Okay. Then we have monitor. Monitor is for what? Monitor is for what? Monitor is for tracking the status of the operations what you have done. If you go to the lightning, administration, platform tools, settings. Setup, administration, platform tools, settings. Is that was clear? Right. Now let us get into the first topic in the Salesforce. On the Salesforce page, we find the moment you create your trial account, there are some settings which you have to modify. What are they? Look at the point. Setup, administer, company profile, setup, administer, company profile. What you are finding here? Company information. Setup, administer, company profile, company information. So what is the navigation we had? Setup, administer, company profile, company information. What will be available here? it will tell you the details about your company and the language settings, currency format, licenses what you purchased. How do you know which edition you are using? Now you are not the person who purchased, you are a developer on the Salesforce. Now you want to know what is the edition you are using. You can go to company profile, company information, you find organization edition. What is it? Developer edition. Now what is the instance of the server we have? AP15. Now we have organization ID. How does the Salesforce understand, okay, which organization you are working on? Because it's a multi-tenant, number of applications are running on the same platform. Then how does the Salesforce know which force.com instance belongs to you? If you look at this, you're finding an ID. How many characters ID is this? How many character ID is this? 15 character ID. How many characters? 15 character ID. Based on this ID, Salesforce will recognize what is the instance of your force.com. Based on the ID, Salesforce will identify instance of force.com, which is called organization ID. Right. So how does the Salesforce recognize your organization or instance? Based on ID, which is called organization ID. So if you want to know which edition you are using, which is server on which you are working now, what is the instance of your organization, we have to come to company profile. Right. Next, if you scroll down, it is giving you user licenses. How many licenses your company has purchased? How many licenses your company has purchased? How many licenses your company has purchased? I told you we are using a trial account. How many Salesforce licenses you are using? And already I am using 2 of them. One I gave to Satish, one I gave to student. One I created, I gave Wilson, I created and I gave you a username to access my notes. Another one I was using to log in as administrator. I have 2 licenses, I have used both of them. Then how many Salesforce platform? Right, all these are number of licenses what we have, how many of them are used, how many of them are pending, and when it is going to expire. This information you find at company information. Company profile tells you information about company, licenses, financial year, business hours, holidays, languages, what you are going to support. Now, when I go to this, click on the edit. When you click on the edit, primary contact. Now, when you communicate with the Salesforce, Salesforce is asking, who is the primary contact from your organization? Tell me, I will make him as administrator. Today I am the administrator, tomorrow I decide to leave the company, then someone else will become a primary contact. Today, when I purchased Salesforce from my company, I represented the team, I spoke to the Salesforce, I purchased it, I was the administrator. Tomorrow I may or may not be in the organization. So who should be the primary administrator? That we give it as what? Primary. Right. Then we had other information. Now we had the other information. Then local settings. Now let us see. You are using a Google. Google is available to you in Telugu, Tamil, Kannada and Marathi. Every language it is available. But what is the language that Google company follows? Right. In English there are 32 English. There are 32 English languages. Now what language that Google will follow? Right. So that is called default language. Now to make it customer friendly, I may represent the application in different formats. Why the Google is representing in Telugu? Because to make it customer friendly. People who have a Telugu as their primary language, to represent them, to make it easy access for them, they are showing the same English application in the form of Telugu. Right? But what is the actual language in which Google define the documents? Company will have one language. To make it customer friendly, they are representing in different language. But what is the primary language of Google? Google follow UK English. Salesforce follow English US. So all the documents of Salesforce will be in UK English US. All the documents of Google will be in English UK. That is the reason, based on your mobile what you purchase, the primary language will come, right? If you purchase a Moto or some Chinese mobile, the language will be Chinese language primary, English China. If you purchase some Android oriented application, you find the primary language as English UK. Am I right? So what was that? What is the language your company want to follow internally? To make it customer friendly, you display in whatever the language you want, but your company should have one standard language. So that language I am choosing as English. Now in the English, what is the language? I will choose English India. So default language and the local language. Default language and the local language. Then what we have? Default time zone. Default time zone. What is the default time zone? Now every organization will have some business hours, the time zone. Now I said, boss, I told office working hours from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. in which time zone? In which time zone? Now what is the time zone you are following? Now I was working for Bank of America as a customer support agent. Now I was working for a Bank of America in US, Bank of America, not Indian branch, US branch I am working. Now they'll ask you, you are working as a customer support for Pacific zone. Now you should be able to log in here according to their time zone. According to their time zone, you have to log in. So business, okay, what is the time zone you are following? When I say my working hours are from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., now according to which time zone? According to which time zone? What is the time zone that your company is following? I told my customer care agents are available from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day from Monday to Saturday. Then I cannot call to Rackspace. I cannot call to Rackspace as per IST. Rackspace in UK, I have to call as per the US time zone. They told customer care support is from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. for the Rackspace. I cannot call as per IST. I have to call 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. as per the UK time zone. Are you getting? So what is the time zone that your company want to follow? What is the time zone that your company want to follow? Because he is a client. He is not a developing company to work 24/7. He is not a developing company to work 24/7. He is a client. Now he is running a wealth management company. He is a share management. He is a ICICI bank. He is a client. He will not operate 24/7. He will be operating in a particular business hours. Now the business hours are according to which time zone? That's what we call it as default time zone. Right. The next. Now what is the currency? Now you open a, what is the currency? Let us see. I opened Amazon. I opened Amazon.com. Now what happened? The prices are represented in what? The prices are represented in dollars. Now same company, no price. Now prices are represented in dollars. The same one I am opening as Amazon.in. The prices are represented in rupees. Ask me to log in. Okay. The prices are represented in rupees. Now company is the same, but to make it customer friendly, they are representing different languages, different zone. But company will take revenue in a particular format only. I cannot take a revenue in rupees or dollars like that. I cannot take in multiple formats. While displaying, I may display to you, but my company will take everything in a particular format. Now, any money that comes to me, let us say Capital Info Solution. We conduct online classes and we also conduct online, okay, freelancing works for UK, we will do it. UK and US we are doing. Now, they may send me in dollars, but finally, when I put up my IT returns, I'll show in rupees only. Am I right? I may get the money, the pounds or dollars, but as far the capital info solution is concerned, we consider the revenue as rupees only. You pay me in any format, finally what is the INR I am getting? What is the INR we are getting? Are you getting my point here? Now you pay me the money in any format, you say dollars or pounds, whatever it is, but I say pay me this much. Because I am going to consider the revenue in terms of only rupees. Like this, what is the currency format of your company? What is the currency format of your company? That we have to decide. It's called currency local or corporate currency, which we call as corporate currency. Right. Now, choose, I told English INR. So when you are taking your company account, you need to set all this data primary. Then I want to say, boss, I want to show if the capital info solution, we have a branch in Texas, we have a branch in Texas, and we have a branch in Germany. Now, the people, if somebody is opening from the Texas, my account they are opening, I want to show the data in terms of rupee, okay, dollars to them. Company is the same. Company is the same. The customers who are logging from the US, for them I want to show dollar. The customers who are logging from India, the employees who are logging from India, for them I want to show rupees. I have two different businesses. One is a consulting and development center in Hyderabad, and I have a consulting services in US. Now everything that I get in the US is in the form of dollars. Now employees of my company, when they log into the account, I should not show them in rupees, I will show them in dollars only. So what is that? The same capital info solution have two category of employees, one working in the Indian zone, another working in US zone. So the employees of US zone, they should see my amount in the form of dollars. The employees who are working in Indian zone, they have to see in INR. Both of them will not see same data. The data is not same. They see different data. But the currency, I want to represent in two different formats, which is called multiple currency format. But strictly, it is not suggested. Strictly, it is not suggested. Why it is not suggested? Let us say, now I told fee 20,000 rupees. I told fee 20,000 rupees. Then my staff, admin staff kept in the website $200 they kept. Let us say they kept as some $400 they kept, thinking that this is the price. Today, let us say dollar price is 50 rupees. They kept $2,000. Somebody from US want to make a payment. They paid a $400. I got 20,000 rupees. Next month, the dollar rate is increased. They got 60. Now, according to it is what? According to it is what? 20,000. Now, next month it is increased. Now, they told $400. Now, people have paid 24,000. Now, the people may feel is the higher price. Right? Otherwise, somebody made a payment. My reception or account people kept 20,000 in my account and told this is the amount what we collected from the student. Now, where is the remaining 4,000? Right. Now, I cannot, now the student cannot ask, boss, dollar rate increased. I paid 1 month back. Today, dollar rate is 60,000. Give back my 4,000. Tomorrow, dollar rate decreased from 50 to 40, it has fallen down. Now, still I get a lesser price. I'm getting 16,000. If I ask a student, pay me 4,000 extra, the student will not be interested. Because the prices keep changing time to time. I cannot track the market. I cannot track the market and give it. If I am putting a price, I should stick to the price irrespective of loss or gain. Irrespective of loss or gain, I have to stick to the price. Are you getting my point? But where is the revenue represented? My revenue is not in dollars. My revenue is in INR. So I have a cost of the product represented in INR. So I don't want to take a risk of representing this. That is the reason we always put the price in INR. Boss, you check the dollar rate. Today, what is the dollar rate? Pay me 20,000 rupees. Join the course. Are you getting my point? If not, I have to maintain a calendar. Today, what is the dollar rate? How much you paid? What is the revenue we got? Every month we want to check month. What is the revenue we got? Then I have to say, receive $200. Now $200 according to the date, what is the dollar price? Calculate. Are you getting? We have the issue. Why I was indicating this is, when I was working for one of the insurance application, that time the dollar rate was 58.2. We had a production issue there. The dollar rate was 58.2. On the same and the same year the dollar rate has moved to $64, 64 rupees. But as we represented the prices in the dollar format, now we are almost lost. The client has almost lost 6 rupees per dollar. At one stage, he lost 6 rupees. Now I cannot ask the customer to pay it because we represented in dollars. I have taken a policy in the dollars only. I hope you got my point. So if it is a legacy application, long-term application, insurance is there. I told premium of $20 per month. Now customer will pay only $20. Actually, I am an Indian company. I was supposed to charge 500 rupees per month. But when I represented to make it customer friendly, I represented in rupees. The customer will always look at the price as $10. I always pay $10 irrespective of high or less. Got my point? So that's how the client has lost 6 rupees per dollar at one stage. So if it is a legacy application, it is not a one-time payment. If you take an insurance policy, for 10 years I will be paying. For 10 years I am paying the money. So it is I cannot track at this moment what is the dollar rate. I hope you got my point. That is the reason Salesforce suggests better not to go for a multiple currencies in case of legacy application. Like you take a postpaid telecom services. You have taken a postpaid connection. They told a package of 600 rupees. To make it a customer friendly, you told $10. Tomorrow dollar rate fallen down. If you ask the customer to pay extra money, will you pay? You have fixed it to the price of $10. Now you should be able to accept more or less for the same price. Tomorrow if the dollar rate falls down, I cannot ask boss, actual package is 600 rupees. To make it easy for you, I told $10. Now pay me extra money. It will not happen because this is a recursive payment. This is a recursive payment. You go to Amazon website, make a purchase, one-time payment. You know what is the price of the product at that moment. But when you take a insurance, when you take a telecom services, when you take a banking services, now it is not one-time payments. It is a recursive. Monthly, quarterly, you will be paying. For that type of application, if you go for multiple currency, there is an issue. There is a reason Salesforce says, by default, I am not providing it. If you want, enable it. If you enable it, you tell me, I will not go and check that dollar rate. You tell me $1 equal to how many rupees, I will convert. It is not my responsibility to go to stock market and find $1 equal to how many rupees. You tell me $1 equal to how many rupees, I will give it. I hope you got my point. So by default, don't enable multiple currency. But there is a concept of multiple currency. It is not suggestible. I hope you got my point. Right. Now look at the point. So what is the currency format you are following? English. This multiple currency later we'll see. If I enable now, everywhere I will get that option. So we don't want to get into trouble now. We just didn't touch anything. But there is a concept called multiple currency where the revenue can be displayed in different formats for different employees. Okay. Save it. So what are the things you have seen here? Default language, time zone. What is the default language? What is the time zone? Default language, time zone, default language. What is the default language? Time zone. Default language, time zone, then currency format, number of licenses, edition you have taken, instance of server, organization ID, how much space you have used, how much is left out, all these data will be there in company information. I hope you are good with this. Clear for everyone? Any query from anyone? Right. So to do this, what is the navigation we have to follow? Setup, administer, manage, okay, company profile, then company information, company profile and company information. Right. Then let us get into the first point here. Chalo, I think it's great. Let me type it up. Look at this structure. I'm going for a company information. Company information. This will maintain basic primary details of your organization like company profile. This will maintain basic details of company like company information, financial year. Every company will have financial year. Then language setting. Then we had business hours. Company profile will maintain basic details of your organization. Basic details of your organization like company information, fiscal year, financial year, language settings, business hours. In this, the first point we have is company profile or company information. In the company information, we had first point organization ID. What is organization ID? Salesforce by default provide 15 character unique ID. Unique ID. Unique ID for every force.com instance. Salesforce by default provide 15 character unique ID for every force.com instance. Salesforce by default provide 15 character unique ID for every force.com instance. Based on this ID, Salesforce will recognize your org. It is also called as ID is also called as organization ID. The next we have corporate currency. Now what is the corporate currency? The format in which revenue of your company is represented. The format in which revenue of your company is represented is called corporate currency. This will specify format in which currency of your company is represented. Right. In case if you enable multiple currency, then currencies are converted based on corporate currency. Now when you say corporate currency is INR, one INR equal to how many dollars? One INR equal to how many pounds? One INR equal to how many dinars? So corporate currency, the format in which your currency is represented. Default language. This will specify the language in which documents or UI will be represented. And we have default local also. Default language and default local. Now, I told you it is following US English. The reason, if you look at this, local. You're fine. We get CAL. Now we are getting CALE because the documentation here is represented in the form of US English. So we got here default. Generally, what we write? Default local. Right? So now this will specify the language in which the document or UI will be represented. Default local. This will specify. So next we have edition, instance, space, company information, provides the details about the edition we are using and instance of the servers, space used. What else information we find here? Default time zone. Then licenses purchased by organization, used, how many are used, I hope you got good with this. This is the basic information what you are finding in the company information. Under company profile, you are finding this. Now, how do you go to this? Navigation. Setup, administer, company profile, company information. Setup, administer, company profile, company information. Setup, administer, company profile, company information, edit. This is what we are giving here. This is for what? Classic. In the classic version, you are getting this. Is the same thing you want to do in the lightning? This is a classic. In the classic, we have setup, administer, company profile, company information, edit. The same thing you want to do in the lightning. So look at the point. Switch to lightning. So what we have here? Setup, so we have company settings. Then we have company information. Now let us first see where was this. Go to this. Setup, settings, company settings. Then we have company information. When I said company information, the same story. The story doesn't change. But only the point is navigation has changed. Navigation has changed. The story doesn't change, only the navigation has changed. Now the same organization name, contact details, local language, default language, time zone, currency local, organization ID, licenses. Right. So only the navigation has changed. So in the lightning, how do you do that? Setup, then we have settings, company settings, company information, setup, settings, company information, edit. Setup, settings, company information, edit. Setup, settings, company information, edit. I hope you are good. I hope you are good with this. Clear on this? Setup, settings, company information, edit. This is how we are giving. This is for lighting, navigation for the lighting. So this is the concept of company information. Then we had a financial year. Every company will have a financial year which will represent the revenue of your company. Every company will have financial year which will represent the revenue of your company. Next quarter revenue, last year revenue, next quarter revenue, this quarter revenue. So if you want to forecast your revenue, we should have the financial year first. Now when I say financial year, the business year for your company. Generally in India we take March to March. Somebody may take December to December. Now if you take some countries, they have only 6 months open, 6 months closed. Now the revenue is represented in which format? Is it the revenue of the company represented? Business year, according to us calendar year. But according to their business, what is the calendar year? Is it from December to December, Jan to Jan, or March to March? We have March to March as financial year. So what is the financial year that your company is trying to follow? Now let me give you a quick example. If you recharge a mobile phone, will they say 1 month validity or 30 days validity? They say 30 days validity. Why 1 month? Why not 1 month? So they want to take a fixed figure 30 days. They want to take a fixed figure like 30 days. Now you say, I say 3 months, 1 quarter. Now January, February, March, if I take, February I have 28 days only. Then I have lesser number of working days. Now you decide what is the format in which you want to represent your year or in which you want to represent your quarter. When you say financial year, you want to take the financial year in terms of 12 months or in terms of 53 weeks. You want to take your financial year in terms of 12 months or 53 weeks. Year is divided into 53 weeks. Now tell me how you want to represent. Now somebody told, I want to take in 12 months. Fine. From which month? I told January. I told January. Starting from January. Ending with what? Jan 1st or Jan 31st? You told start from January, end with what? Jan 1st or Jan 31st? Right? So our format is what? Our format is what? April 1st to April 1st to March 31st. Right? Now when you say 12 months format, you want to take start from which month, end with which month. Now by default what system will do? 3 months, 1 quarter. 3 months, 1 quarter. System will automatically calculate what is the turnover, what is the next quarter revenue. This type of forecasting Salesforce will do. The system will do. Because it's a 12 months format and you told starting with the March, from March 3 months, 1 quarter, I will calculate the amount. You told, no boss, I don't want the system to take care. I will decide according to my requirement. Then I told, then system told, if you want to take care about your own way, there are 2 options for you. 53 weeks format or 12 months format. If you say standard, Salesforce will take care. If you say custom, I want to design as per my choice. You don't take care, I'll take care of my financial year. When you say I want to take care about my financial year, there are 2 choices what we have. One is a 53 weeks format, other one is 12 months format. 53 weeks, 12 months. When you say 53 weeks, then every 13 weeks is 1 quarter. Now in the last quarter, 1 extra week will come. 13 weeks, 1 over. Every quarter, 30 weeks. If you take 12 months, 3 months, 1 quarter. Now you said 13 weeks. Okay. You tell me in which format you want to take. Generally, your calendar will have the format like this, boss. If the month start with 5 weeks, if this month start with 5 weeks, next 2 months will be 4 weeks and 4 weeks. If you observe the calendar, in this month, if you have 5 new weeks, next 2 months will have only 4 weeks and 4 weeks. Right? So let me look at calendar. This month has how many new weeks? 1, 2, 3, 4. When you look at the next month, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 4. Next will be what? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Generally, the calendar will have what? If this month will have 5 weeks, 5 new weeks, next 2 months will be 4 weeks, 4 weeks. Now it is asking, how we want to take the month? You want to take a month in this format, 4, 5, 4. I want to start with the month which has 4 weeks. Next month should be 5 weeks. Last month should be 4 weeks. Or you want to take 5, 4, 4. You have a choice to choose what you need. You have a choice to choose what you need. 5, 4, 4, 4, 4, 5. Okay. Any combination you can choose. The combination, any one of the combination you can choose. So that every week, if I choose the first, every quarter will start with the 4 weeks month, followed by 5 weeks, followed by 4 weeks. Last quarter will have an extra advantage. Right, boss? I hope you are good with this. So, what was this? Financial year of your company. Now, what is the business year of your company? What is the business calendar year for your company? It can be defined in 2 ways. One is standard, other one is custom. Standard means Salesforce will take care about the internal settings. But you have to tell, starts with which month, end with first of the month or end of the month. 12 months format. Custom means I don't want Salesforce to define. I will define my own structure. Then you have 53 weeks or 12 months. Basically, what is that? Divide the year into 4 quarters. That's the final story. All this what we discussed. You want to divide 12 months into 4 quarters. That may be based on weeks or based on months. Right, boss? I hope you are good with this. How do you do that? First, let us do with a classic in order to follow it better. Setup, administer, setup, administer. Then we have company profile, finance. Setup, administer, company profile, finance. Then here we have standard financial. Standard financial. If you say standard financial, start with January, ending with ending month. Okay, or starting month. January 1st to okay, December 31st. Or the reverse. You want to convey it. Okay. Now ending month. Financial year based on ending month. Ending month is January. Starting from January. January to December. Starting from January, ending with December. Right. Then this is what? Ending month, January. So it is February to January. Are you clear about this? Now, start with year end with. Now, when you take this, when you take a standard, forecast will be set by the Salesforce. Salesforce will take care about the forecast. Forecast means nothing but next quarter, how much revenue we may get. Next quarter, how much revenue we may get. Now I started this batch. Okay, this month is done. Next month, what is the revenue I am going to get? I have to estimate. Otherwise, I cannot run the organization. I need to estimate so that I can arrange my salaries and rents and everything. So if I am getting within the fees, it's okay. Otherwise, I have to arrange from my account. So I need to estimate what is the probable revenue I am going to get in the next month. That's what is called forecast. Right? So the forecast will be done by the Salesforce automatically based on your data. If I go with a custom, now you told I will take care. Then the standard forecast will not work. You have to design your forecast. I hope you're good. But the problem here is once I enable, I cannot disable. Once I enable, you cannot disable. Once I enable this, you cannot disable. That's what I say. Enabling custom financial year is not reversible. Right. The forecasting features enabled creating initial custom. Okay. The basic story. I don't want to make it complex here. Simple. Forecasting will not be done by the Salesforce. You have to customize as per your requirement. Okay. So what is the basic concept of financial year? This will specify calendar year for your company's revenue. Calendar year for your company's revenue. Now I told enable custom financial year. They gave a warning, if it is enabled, we cannot disable it. Then what is that? They asked, you want to take a weeks format or you want to take a 12 months format? Weeks format or 12 months format? The same, this is also same, 13 periods. Right. Now I told 12 months format. Starting from so let me give you basic story here. So what is fiscal year? This will specify business year for your organization. There are two types of fiscal years. Two types of, one is standard, other one is custom. Standard fiscal years. Right. When you say standard, this will take 12 months format. This will take 12 months format and break. This will take 12 months format, break the year into 4 quarters. Right. If you go with enable standard fiscal year, if you enable standard fiscal year, forecasting Salesforce provides standard forecasting. Next we have custom fiscal year. Custom fiscal year. Once you enable this, we cannot disable. We have two options. (12 months or 53 weeks. Now the point here is generally this will be kept if you are very new to the Salesforce, your company started the Salesforce right now. First time when you purchase the Salesforce, then you get a choice to work on this. If you are working on a very scratch new project, you are only the beginning employee to work on this project, then you get the choice to keep this. Otherwise all these are inbuilt. Right? If you are very new to the company, it's the first time the company is starting the Salesforce, you have these choices. Otherwise, you never work with this concept. Right, boss? If you enable the custom fiscal, we need to manage Forecasting forward. This is what we have given was. So standard financial year and custom financial year. What is the navigation we have? Now we have classic. If it is a classic, what is the navigation we have seen? Setup, administer, company profile, then we had setup, administer, company profile, fiscal year. This is the format. Then we can enable it. Setup, administer, company profile, financial year, and enable standard or custom. Then let us go to the next one. If it is a lightning, the concept is the same. Setup, then we have settings, company settings, then we have fiscal year. Then the story was the same. The navigation was different, but the story was the same. I hope you are good with this. That's what I told. In the lighting and classic, background concept is going to be the same, but the presentation format is different. So what we are going to see here, setup, settings, this is how we are going to give. So this is the second format we had. What is that? Company information, financial. Then we had language settings. Now, just now I discussed, Google is going to provide in the form of Telugu, Tamil, and English. Like this, your application is supported in which languages? In what are the different languages you want to support? If some customer is, if the employee is from German, do you want to show this application in German language? If this employee is from China, do you want to show the application in the Chinese language? What are the languages which you want to support for your employees? This is what we call language settings. That's what we call it as language settings. Now, let me give you a quick points here. Let me give you the quick points here. There are two types of language. End customer language, platform language. Platform means end customer, whatever the Salesforce has designed, those can be converted into the particular language by Salesforce. Because Salesforce designed it, they know what is the meaning of it. But whatever you developed, the meaning of that word, I cannot guess it. Because I am a developer, I created something in English, I know what to type in Telugu. If you are giving it, now I cannot decide what you want to convey. Now, whatever I am providing as a standard, I can convert them into the language what you select. Whatever I am giving as a standard, whatever that is created by the Salesforce, that I can convert into the language what you want. Because Salesforce only created, they know the meaning of the word, they can convert in the language. But the question is, if a developer designed it, then Salesforce doesn't understand what it is. Then developer has to translate it. Are you getting my point here? There are two things. What is developed by Salesforce? What is developed by user? Now look at this context carefully. We will see this. Now when I say setup, look at this. Setup, administer, company profile, language settings. Now end user language. Application is already there. End user is logging in. As a Salesforce user, when I log in, whatever the Salesforce has created, I want to see that in particular language. So here I selected whatever the languages you have selected. If I select any one of these language, these are standard languages which Salesforce will support. Apart from this, these are option for you. If you select any one of these language, application will be converted into that language and displayed. Everything will be converted. Everything will be converted. Let us say I will go with some Arabic. I want to support that language. Arabic they want to support. Now users, I'm just showing an example. Don't worry about this navigation. Now what is the local language? Some Chinese language I'm choosing. Now your application is translated into that language. Now the language which you are supporting. Now the point here is, I told end user language. When I say end user language, if I select any one of those language, Salesforce will convert into that language. Now already Salesforce has given a list of languages. If you select any one of that language, I will convert into Salesforce, including setup, including the setup and options, right? But if I select any one of the end user language, everything will be converted into that language except setup and help. Except the setup and help, everything will be converted. If I select any one of the language, application will be converted into that language. But what I am saying, if I select any one of the end user language, like I told Arabic, if I choose Arabic, application will be converted into Arabic except setup menu and help. Except the setup menu and help, remaining application will be converted into that language. So let me go back and translate back. Now look at this. Now if this is also not displayed to me in the same language, how can I modify it? Now you are able to see this in English, that's why it's okay. Now if you are going to show this option also in the Japanese, then I am done. I hope you are good. Now we are selecting it. Local language. Let me go back. So if I select these languages, what are these languages? Let me go back. Company information. Language settings. If I select any one of these languages, look at the point. These languages Salesforce is supporting by default. If I select any one of these languages, entire application including setup, help will be converted. Now if I choose any one of these language, entire application will convert except help and setup. So they are called end user language. Now this is converted what? Whatever the Salesforce created, that will be converted. Now the next one what we have is enable platform only language. That means these are the languages which Salesforce is not converting. Salesforce say, if you select any one of these language, I will not convert. Now they have Tamil also here in this. Tamil is there. Okay. Now if you select this, Salesforce will not convert, but this provide you procedure to convert. If I select any one of these language, Salesforce will not convert this application to that language. Anything that you developed by you, Force.com means what? I am building my own functionalities. Any functionality that you have developed, and if you choose any one of these language, I cannot convert the application into that language. But I will provide you the procedure to convert. I will not convert by myself, but I will provide you the procedure to convert. Simple example. Platform means, okay, you have a mobile phone, keyboard is English keyboard. Now, whatever the message you type, that is not standard one. It is a custom message which you are designing. Am I right? Now, you want to send a message, but what do? You type Hindi message in English. The word is Hindi only, but you type in English. Now, what was that translation which you are providing? The system is not translating by default, but it has provided you the procedure. Boss, you want to type a message in Hindi, whatever the Hindi word is there, type it in English. Or whatever the Telugu message you want to type it in English. Now it is providing a procedure to print it. It is not converting, it is providing a procedure. Are you clear about this? Now in the keyboard you have a language setting. If I choose a Hindi, my message will be in Hindi only. Okay, but if I want to type in Tamil, it is not giving. It is only providing English and Hindi in the keyboard. But if you want in a Tamil, I cannot type it. Then what should I do? Print a Tamil message in English, or Tamil message in English or Hindi, and send it. Now it is a procedure to convert. It is a procedure to send. I hope you got my point. Anything that you are designing will not be converted into that language by default. If you want to convert, you have the procedure to convert. I hope you are good with this. This is called platform only languages. So what are the languages you want to support for your employees? I already giving some languages. Apart from this, you have some extra options. If you choose any one of the language from end user, I will translate everything except help and setup. If you choose any language from platform only, I will not convert. But I have given you a procedure to convert it. I hope you are good with this. Am I clear with this? So go back to the story. This will specify list of languages that your organization here we have end user. If I choose any language, entire application language except help and setup. Next we have platform user. Enable platform only. If we choose any language, first Salesforce will not translate. This is applied for those functionalities that are developed user on Force. Salesforce provides concept of translation workbench to convert, to translate custom functionalities into the language So by default, Salesforce will not convert, but it is providing you the mechanism called translation workbench. There is a concept called translation workbench. By using that, we can translate. Okay, boss. On what? That we have developed. On the functionalities, what we have developed. Then what is the navigation we had? Class. Setup. Setup. Administer. Setup, administer. Company profile. Setup, administer, company profile. Then we have language settings. Then enable the option. Right. Let's go to the next lightning. So I don't want to provide the screenshots for this. If I provide a screenshot, you make a DTP operation. Look, screen 1, click, click, click. That's the reason I'm typing the navigation. You follow this navigation, create it. Screenshots I will not provide. If you provide a screenshot, just you make a DTP operation, Xerox operations. Okay. So go through the navigation, refer the navigation. You should be good with the navigations. Right. Now, lightning. In the lightning, what we do? Again, the same story. Setup. Settings. Company settings. Language. Company settings and language settings. Setup. I hope you are good with this. So basically, this is when you take a org, from the Salesforce, then you are supposed to set some basic information. When you take a org from the Salesforce, you are supposed to set some basic information. What is that basic information? What was that basic information? Like which edition you are using, which instance you are using, which language you are using, this type of data. That we are going to set from company profile. Where we are going to set? In the company profile. Where are we going to set? Company profile. We are going to set in the company profile. I hope you are good with this. People are good with this example? Right. So the moment you purchase any org, the first thing that you have to do is set the company's data. Your company's languages, company's currency format, company's address, and your financial year. I hope you are good with this. Right. And navigation, don't look at the screens. Remember it so that you know the topics which are there. If you go with the screenshots and remember, okay, go with that. You will not remember the topics what you learned. You keep using the navigation 4 times. Okay, every topic you click 10 times or 15 times. You remember the topic well. If you go to the screenshot with one example you are done, and you never repeat the topic again. So always go with the navigations. Don't go with the screenshot. Go with the navigation. If you got stuck up, video is available. You can revise the video, practice. But remember the navigation format. Don't go with the screenshots. Go with the navigation format. Right. At the end of the game, you need to know what topics are there. Right, boss? That's all from my end. Before I wind up, any query from your end?
Why is enabling custom fiscal year non-reversible? Is there any particular reason?
Enabling? Forecasting the Salesforce standard template will be deleted. Go with the custom. You set your custom. Now Salesforce cannot recover it.
Is there any reason why it is not reversible?
See, I gave a bag. I gave you a bag, laptop bag I gave you. I told, if you use the same, I can support you. You made some customizations on the bag. Then if you come back, I cannot recover it. No. Exactly. Any other queries from anyone else? Right, okay. Next session is on Monday. Next class is on Monday. That's all.